Happy Motivational Monday. Hi, guys. On this episode, I'm going to be speaking with my good friend, Shani Asha. We're going to be talking about her journey through spirituality and how she became a holistic coach and spiritual healer. We're also going to explain to you guys what a healer exactly is and what Reiki healing is and all the different things that people are getting into to start their spiritual journey and to continue their spiritual journey. So I hope you find some healthy nuggets and tips in here that will help you along your journey as well. Hey guys, I am here on another episode with I can't even explain this person. This is a friend. I have known her for years and we have both been in the entertainment and fashion industry. She was in the PR industry. We have been on this journey together. And it's so funny that now we're on the spiritual journey together. And this is my dear friend, Shani Asha. She's a spiritualist. She's a lot. So I've already told you guys in the beginning who she was, but I'm gonna let her tell you who she is and what she does, and then we're gonna just dig in and we're gonna bring you some good information to get you on that spiritual journey, to get you on the journey to pursue your happiness. So I'm just gonna give it on over to Shani. So Shani, you tell them who you are.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shani Asha. I'm a holistic coach and spiritual healer. The name of my company is On Point Like a Stiletto, LLC, because I try to give people balance through grounding, through spirituality. I want everybody to be whole, mind, body, and spirit. So, I've been in the entertainment industry, as Shatanya mentioned, as a model, a publicist, digital marketer, event production, so many different things. And I'm so happy to be on this journey with her and to talk to you guys about my journey. I'm certified in a lot of healing modalities, which we will get into, as Shatanya mentioned.
Exactly. It's so crazy because how long have we been in each other's lives? And I think I know we met through both of our friends, Tamara Walker, through PR, and I know I met Tamara back in 2005, and I know I shortly met you after. So we've been in each other's life for a long time.
Yep, I think that's the same year. Yeah, 2005.
2005. Yep. Oh my God.
And at one point, you even lived on my block.
Yes, exactly. We live like up the street from each other.
Crazy because we lived on the same street and never saw each other during that
time. Never. Right. It's the same block, never seen each other. It was just, that's crazy. Like, you live on my block? What? Never seen each other. It's so crazy. And it's just like, but that just shows how the universe works. It's just like, it'll keep having you just meet, go past, cross paths with people. So it's just insane. Yes, girl. So I definitely want to so I guess most of my listeners know, like, I've had my journey from fashion. I'm still dibble and dabble in fashion, but I had my spiritual shift of, wanting to get people into a better healing space, get into a better mental space, because I haven't even discussed this with you, Shani, that you know how the fashion industry is. Like, you've been, and this is like, okay, this is like a preaching moment, because now I have someone else who's been in this crazy industry with me, who can, co-sign what I've been going through and my struggle and what everybody else. This is the reason and the point of this podcast. The point of this podcast is for people like us that's within the industry and the entertainment, photographers, whatever, to have a place where they can find some healing, because the entertainment, entrepreneur, fashion, all of that industry is a very, very stressful and some can say toxic industry. So it's, I had to have my quote unquote come to Jesus moment and my spiritual moment to find myself, because it was literally breaking me down. It was like sucking the life out of me. It had me question like all the issues that I've had, and I don't know if I'm sure I never mentioned this to you. Like, I dealt with a lot of mental illness and anxiety, depression, all these different, you know, things that I was dealing with, my dark places that I was dealing with. And then when you go into an industry like fashion and entertainment, it puts a magnifying glass on these things. And it makes it even harder to cope with. And then you dealing with people who are broken and they have these issues, and it reflects back on you. And then like you're trying to help these people, but the help is not the clothes that they need. They don't need the clothes. They need that inner help. They need that inner love. They need that healing. So that's what it made me transition and say, okay, you know what? A shift needs to be made, and I need to help heal people from the inside and give people a platform of support that's dealing with what I'm dealing with, trying to stay afloat in this dog eat dog industry. So my question is to you is, where did the shift come for you? Where was it like, okay, I'm dealing with this, I'm in this industry, I'm living my life, but there needs to be some type of spiritual shift or healing shift. Like, what was it for you?
So before I answer the question for myself, I just want to say it's funny too, because I was on the Tamron Hall show when she had Dr. Ish and Charlemagne the God on there talking about depression and Black males, which is a conversation that also needs to be shouted out to the world. Yes. But that was the same question I had at Charlemagne, like what was his shift? And he was just like, he had to be his authentic self. So for me, my full-time job, I worked in hospitality from when I was 14. So I worked in the hotel industry as well as having my own company, entertainment, working full-time, overtime as a single mom. And I'm like, I want to be here for my child. Right. I need to be here and live a long life for my child. So let me rewind a little bit and just explain about my illnesses. So I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes when I was 24. At this time, I was in the middle of transitioning from being a model to a publicist. I decided I wanted to work in PR. So I interned for a man, and he really wasn't doing real PRs. And everybody was like, Shani, you could start your own company. And I thought about it, and I'm like, I have all of these contacts in fashion and in music, and those are the two things in life I love the most, besides my spirituality and my healing. So I was like, I came up with Stilettos and Sounds. I remember. So that is the name of my first company that I started in 2005. But in this meantime, I was doing research. I was still networking. And you know me, and you're the same way. You're always smiling, no matter what, on the inside.
God. And the biggest lie ever. That big smile, that happiness. It is the biggest lie. I always say I've been lying. I was lying for 37 years, because for 37 years I was the most unhappy person you would ever meet. But no, you would never think Shatanya was happy-go-lucky.
And you were also one of my favorite friends, because me and you will bust out and do the robot.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
But I was like 24. So at first when I got that diagnosis, I'm like, okay, it's nothing big. So I made a lot of lifestyle changes, diet, exercise. I've never been a sleeper. Until 2012. That's when I finally started sleeping.
I think I just started sleeping.
Not getting better. They changed my medicine, different regimens, and I went to an endocrinologist 2 years later to find out I was really I really had type 1 diabetes and not type 2.
Wow.
So
what's the difference?
The main difference between type 1 and type 2 really means that if you're type 1, you're insulin dependent.
Okay.
So at that time, I also found out that I was pregnant with my son. So I got a double whammy at 26. I'm like, okay.
Right.
So I was able to have a healthy child. I made some more changes. You know, I'm working on my career and becoming an entrepreneur. But my sugar was literally 600 plus every day.
OMG.
So nobody really knew how much pain I was in.
Oh God.
How sick I really was.
Right.
And then I started developing, you know, social anxiety because like if you're not feeling your best, all of your insecurities just feel amplified.
Girl.
You know.
Yes.
So 2017, I was having like these weird pain episodes. And long story short, I was diagnosed with something on top of my diabetes called mixed connective tissue disease. And it's like having lupus and scleroderma combined.
Oh my God.
So I was having extreme pain episodes, didn't know why. And the only time I didn't have them is when I would travel. And I love the beach. I'll be on a cruise every year, especially if it wasn't for COVID. I would be somewhere. This is the first year I have not taken a cruise. Like I can't.
Right. This is
and
my
I
first
probably
year.
won't be taking a cruise until the year 5000. So that cheetah. But it took a long time for the test results to come in from the mixed connective tissue disorder, because when you've had an autoimmune disease like diabetes for such a long time, because I've had it for 15 years now, it basically you usually do get another autoimmune disease on top of it. It's usually something that's like lupus. So, my first doctor was like, it could be lupus, it could be something else, it could be nothing. So in that meantime, thanks to a great sister friend of mine, Shara McHale, I started acupuncture.
Okay.
And that combined with like my meditation and my self Reiki and my crystals and my angel healing, like I started sleeping more and I was in like less pain.
Wow.
So being in pain like 85% of your time, like it takes a mental toll on you, because you got to figure out how to function on a daily basis, how to work, how to take care of yourself and your family. So
and people don't understand. They don't understand because they can't physically see
3
it.
years, I got out of bed, I was like, yes, that's a win.
Wow.
So, and there were times where I just felt like, death would be better. Like,
and you definitely suffered in silence because we had no idea. No idea you suffered in silence. Wow.
So like I have a lot of close friends who like were my life. They still are. I really give thanks to everybody on my journey that, hold light for me, whether they're still in my life or not, because I definitely believe in reason seasons.
Right.
But I think when you're feeling those thoughts, if you're vulnerable and open it up to ask for help,
right,
even though it's a challenge, it's one of the best things you can do.
Exactly.
I also went back to therapy. I've been in therapy on and off since I was 16.
Wow.
I do believe like mental wellness is a priority. So I realized like I needed to shift my tactics.
Why did you start therapy so early?
So when I was 14, I had a 8-month-old baby cousin that was murdered by her father. And then a year later, one of my close friends that was like my sister passed away.
Wow.
And I was very angry and I was very depressed.
I got it.
So even, I want to say like 10 years ago, when I was 30, that's when I was like, I don't want to be like my mom, where she's just giving, and not giving to herself.
Right.
So I just started like using D&D on my phone way more. Like till this day, I don't touch my phone in the morning. until I've done my grounding and self-care rituals for the day, because that, putting myself first,
yes,
is how I can take care of others. It's how I can heal others, because I have to heal myself.
It's, girl, that is so true. And anybody listening, that's facts right there, because and I got to get back on that. I have to get more disciplined with that, because I remember when I first made my spiritual shift, I was very disciplined where I don't touch my phone until 11, 12 o'clock. Like, I don't care who's calling. My phone will be on do not disturb.
Mine was 10 o'clock. Yep.
Yeah. I wake up in the morning. I do my meditation. I light my candles. You have to do that self-care. You got to do that self-check-in, because people were like, and my motto was, you will not be the author of my day, because I have to write my day out. Because I remember one day I went against my thoughts and of my 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, pick up my phone. And I picked up the phone with a friend that called me, and I picked up the phone, and me and her spoke, and we had the biggest argument. It ruined my whole day, and me and her barely spoke for like almost 2 years. So it was like, had I just not answered the phone that day, none of that would have happened. Shouldn't I answer the phone? I should have stayed in my meditation. I was about to meditate and I picked up the phone. But you got that piece you just said right there is so true. You have to do your self-care. You have to get your routine going in the morning. It's all about you in the morning. Be very selfish. But I'm sorry to cut you off, but I had to chime in for that one, because even I know I have to get back on top of that. Like, being more disciplined with my phone and being more disciplined with my mornings, because my mornings are mine.
Yep. So I've always known that angels have been around me like my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But 10 years ago, like I said, I started working with them more.
Mm-hmm.
But 2015, I lost so many people in that year that my grief actually helped my spiritual modalities, because I wanted to learn how to work with my ancestors.
Okay.
So my intuition and my discernment have always been very strong. It opened me up to just healing people naturally. People were just coming to me because they know my journey, and I knew I had to keep working on my gifts.
Right.
I feel like grief is like a deep wound that never really goes away.
Yeah.
So I do offer grief coaching too, because I have a big family.
Mm-hmm.
I literally been dealing with death since I was 2.5. When I was 2.5, one of my ancestors came to me and gave me a message from my mother. Mm. So that's how long I've known that I've had gifts.
Mm. Okay.
And then I used to have lucid, vivid dreams. So I became an angel healing practitioner. Mm-hmm. And I love working with the angels because they give me messages for other people. Mm-hmm. They help me heal other people, combined with the Reiki and the crystal healing. And it's just so beautiful. Okay. And it helps them with so many aspects of their life, like grief, anxiety, depression, sleeping, even physical illness. So it's just such a beautiful thing to be in this position to heal others.
Right. And just to touch on what you said before we get in, because I definitely want you to elaborate more on what Reiki healing and those things are, but just to touch on to you knowing that you had something even from the age of 2, it brings me back to, when I was younger. Now, it's funny that I didn't realize that it was that the things that I was experiencing was gifts and intuitiveness and empathic, experiences, until one day I was at a fashion event, with I was with Tamara, and I was with our other friend Amaris, and someone came to me, this Indian chief. he just happened to be at this random fashion show at a bar during fashion week, and we're out back in the having drinks and stuff like that. And he was very into ancestry, and he spoke with one of my friends, and he was telling her something, and this was like the very beginning of my meditation journey. And like I'm getting like really, because I had started my meditation, and we're going to talk about the meditation journey, because I know for a lot of people who's listening, a meditation journey could be a struggle if you don't know how to quiet your mind and stuff like that.
Girl, if you don't know how to sit down.
Yes. So we're going to get into that, because I know my meditation journey was a real journey, because I started it and then I fell off and I didn't know if I was meditating. I was sitting there like my nose was twitching, this was itching. I'm like, am I meditating? I'm not meditating. So however, I was in the second stage of the beginning of my meditation journey. And this man came to me, and like we were sitting there, and I heard him talking to the friend, and he was telling her some things about her life. And she was like, oh my God, like he was so on point. Like he totally knew that was exactly what I was going through. And I was like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, well, I know that I'm open, and I know that I'm in a receptive mode of energy. So I'm like, I'm wondering if he can read me, if he's that in tune, can he read me?
So he was probably a shaman or a seer.
Right. He probably was, but I know he came to me. He was like, okay. He was like, yeah. He was like, I see, you're going through some things right now. Definitely financial issues you're going through right now. But by the end of the year, it's going to change. Things are going to change. And girl, when I say financial issues that I was going through, it was a hot mess. Like basically didn't know if I was going to have a roof over my head within the next few months or whatever. So I'm like, okay, going through it. So he was like, but things are going to change and things are going to get better. He was like, but you know what? He said, you know things and you see things and you've always seen things. He said, you saw things when you were a little kid. And he said, but it scared you. So the universe took it away, but you still have that power. And I'm like, I did. As a little kid, girl, the things I used to see in my house or see around me used to scare the crap out of me. But I came from a very Christian household. So in the Christian household, I was seen as demonic. It was the devil. It was this. It was that. You were never celebrating your gifts. You was always running from your gifts and thinking that, oh my God. So it did used to scare me. So I did stop seeing it. He said, your grandmother had powers too, but she used it she used it differently, and you know what I mean. And I'm like, my grandmother on my father's side was in the dark magic. How would he see that? And I'm like, and I forgot about it until he said, but she used it for different things, but not you. And I said, wow. That man blew me away. And from then, it was my confirmation. Do your light work. Get in tune to who you are. But
you have to do shadow work too. But that's a whole nother topic.
Right. But I always say, like, I focus on my light because I'm going to keep my light going. Keep my light shining bright. But yeah, no, that was so, just touching on what you said, that was like so true, because I dealt with that and I experienced. I'm like, wow, we don't understand how powerful we are from the beginning. When we get here, how powerful we are, and we lose sight of it. We don't.
So it's interesting because you said like Christian household where,
right?
Like I grew up. I tell people I'm a Christian who meditates, but I also have Native American roots.
Me too. Yeah.
Full blood.
Right.
And I believe truly that that's where a lot of our gifts come from, because of those ancestors that watch over us and pass over those gifts.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Oh gosh, I could go into that forever.
Right.
But because you mentioned meditation.
Yeah.
So
What was that journey like for you? Because I know like a lot of
my
people have.
meditation journey was hard because, like I said, I worked in hospitality and entertainment, so I was always spread thin. Period. Right. So my meditation journey was also hard getting started because once I got into the group, it was like really beneficial. Like I was always, going. So I'm like, for someone who's always busy and doing something, it's hard to just sit and just be. I'm like, quiet time, stillness, what's that?
Right.
So I truly believe that the universe will align you with what you're ready. And at this time, I wasn't working in the hotel industry. I was trying to focus on my health so that I could be better. So I'm like, let me dig deep into my meditation journey. I was about to go on some trip, some cruise. And then Erica Ford from Life Camp called me. And she asked me to help produce Peace Week. So Peace Week is something that's done in January in New York City in honor of Martin Luther King's birthday, where we do a series of events surrounded by peace. This was the first year that she was incorporating Deepak Chopra on the journey. So she was like, do you know who Deepak Chopra is? I was like, yeah, I just started his meditation challenge. She was like, well, we're going to be working with him in One World Academy. So it was beautiful. So we did Peace Week, and then after Peace Week, One World Academy did a meditation retreat that Erica had me put together. So some of us went for the retreat, and it was so beautiful, but I kept falling asleep.
Okay.
So, they're like, that's okay. That's what your body needs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. During meditation. This is during your meditation, you was falling asleep.
Yes.
That happened to me too.
I would just fall asleep. So that weekend, I had actually met two beautiful souls that I keep in touch with to this day. One of them is Omi. One of them is Shaka Pilgrim. So Shaka, I'll never forget, during one of the meditations, all of a sudden she breaks out singing Peanut Butter Jelly Time. So it took me everything not to die laughing. We ate vegan, for the whole weekend. It was like a beautiful thing to just meeting people and connect with people I already knew in that way and just deepen our meditation practice. But what I would tell anyone who is starting is to begin with just 3 minutes of trying to be still and increase your time. And then just do your research. There's so many forms of meditating. I tell people, just stop. Like anytime you feel anxiety, depression coming over, just stop and concentrate on your breathing. That is a meditation.
It is. No, it's so true. And you have to find the meditation that works for you, because not all works for everyone. They have transcendental.
Exactly.
I've tried transcendental meditation. It does not work for me. It depends on where I am energetically, where guided meditation works for me, where sometimes guided meditation doesn't work for me. Breathworks meditation works for me amazingly, but then sometimes it just depends on where you are, where your frequency is. Sometimes breathworks doesn't work for you. So you really have to do your research and try different types of meditation to see what works for you and what really sticks out. But it's so true. I went through the falling asleep. I went through the tingling. I went through this is what really helped me on my meditation journey. Listening to, I don't know if you listen to her, Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks. Like I live by Esther Hicks. That is what brought me on my helped me on my meditation journey and my spiritual journey, because all the things that I was experiencing in my meditation, where I was like, I'm not meditating, this is not working, blah, blah, blah. When I started listening to her, she was like, yeah, when she first started meditating, this is exactly what she went through. And I was like, wow. Like, okay, so I was meditating. I didn't even realize. I'm just going numb. I'm just like, my nose is itching, like all this crazy sensations going. Like, I'm not meditating. My mind is wandering. I'm falling asleep. Next thing you know, I wake up like, okay, my meditation tape went off. Like, what's happening? So it was just like such a crazy. But then when I really, really, really got into it and really was able to just really let go, like you mentioned in our prior conversation, that out of body experience, girl, girl, when you feel like you're levitating up off that bed and
and you know what? I started sleeping better and longer. Like my creativity was so enhanced.
Yes.
And I felt less stressed about situations that I probably have with him with cheese about before.
Girl, that's why like I call myself the meditation pusher. That's the reason, that is the core reason for this podcast, is because it literally saved my life. When I was in my darkest moments, when I was ready to find anything to end it all, anything like I just don't want to be here no more. I hate this life, this and the third. Meditation helped me to be able to relax, to put things into perspective, being able to get in tune with my inner self and be able to just really lay out things, listening to Dr. Wayne Dyer and just changing my perspective on things. And it really helps you to really lay things out and just smooth it out and just get in tune and just relax. Because the things that we're sitting here, this is the quote that I love by Dr. Wayne Dyer, is when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yes.
It speaks volumes, because
that's why I got my certification in positive psychology as a life coach. Because that alone, it helped. I mean, I already had the tools. It was just literally when I went through it with Valerie Burton, it was like getting that certification, but be able to help others do that in their career,
right,
and see how their careers blossom, right, and to see how people's health blossom, mind, body, and spirit. Everything is about mindset and energy. Exactly. Mindset, energy, and intentions are everything in life. I'm telling you.
It's so true. It's so
true. And that's the thing too. We have to explain to people who are beginners in their spiritual journey or meditation is you have to let go of expectations.
Right.
Because a lot of things that we were taught or ingrained in us are not as it seems. And when you let go of expectations, sometimes things are just so much more beautiful than you could even imagine them to even turn out and be.
Exactly. Because we have this idea of how we think it should go, what it should be, what we should expect from other people, what should happen in our lives, the way it should go, like the people, like this was my misconception. Okay. And that's one of my things of like a pursuit to happiness and creating your own happiness is our perception of, okay, when I meet this person will connect me with this situation, and that situation will bring me to success. When I meet this person will bring me to happiness. When I make this money is gonna, like, and we try to map it out and create it ourselves. And when you do that, you're setting yourself up. Because
I always say the Sagittarius and the Virgo in me, like, it's like I have a complex, right, and it's like I'm never satisfied.
Right.
You know, like you'll keep chasing this and that and that. And I was like, you know, at one point it was great when I worked in corporate America because I was never satisfied. And I always got a promotion every 2 years, no matter what.
Right. So it keeps you going.
At my core, eventually, those jobs were not serving me. And I wanted to be of service as a healer. And I was like so happy to make that break.
Right. Because this is the thing. You got to find out what your work is and what your job is. And your job is what you get paid for. Your work is what was universally and divinely assigned to you. This is your work, is to heal people. Your work is to, you know, bring people to a higher knowledge for themselves. That's the work.
So let me tell you what one of my favorite affirmations is to give people when it comes to that. You know, a lot of people are like, I don't know what my calling is. I don't know what happened. You know, what my thing is. I tell them, use this affirmation: my passion, my purpose, and my paycheck are in alignment.
Yes, that is true. That is
one of my favorite affirmations.
It's true. That's true, because when you start doing what it is you love and when you start doing what fulfills you, the universe will bring what you need. the money will come.
Every time you take a step forward, the universe will open the door for you. I truly believe that. I have so many stories of testimonies like that, being in the right place at the right time.
It is the truth. It's the truth.
And you just have to, and that's why I technically say, you know how people are like, no, I'm an introvert, no, I'm an extrovert. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people know me going out smiling. I have to spend time with my people, but I need my alone time. Like, I have to have my alone time. I have to sit with myself. Mm-hmm. I have to, recharge, ground myself. Right. I have to, make sure my energy is my own, being an empath.
Right, let's talk about it.
We talk about being an empath before. So for some of you who don't know, an empath or a sensitive is somebody who can take on other people's energy knowingly or unknowingly. So when I was a child, I used to, when my mother and like her friends used to want to go to other people's churches, I would go kicking and screaming. Not because it was church, but because church used to drain me. And I don't know why it was mainly at churches, but when I would get back home from churches, I used to feel sick because I was feeling other people's stuff around me. Wow. And I don't know why it was mainly at churches that I used to feel it when I was younger, but that would be the main place.
A light bulb just went off in my head because I always had that issue when it came to going to church. And it was just and my mother used to be so mad at me because I just did not want to go, because I knew when I came back, I wasn't going to feel good. I did not feel good. Like most people come feeling rejoiced, and like I felt drained. And it was just
until I started embracing my spiritual gifts and learned how to ground myself, I couldn't do it. And I love my church in New York, Emmanuel Baptist Church. I love that church because it's truly like a spiritual temple. I can't even describe, but but you just have to know, like, sometimes we don't know what our gifts are. And I feel like, too, a lot of the physical illnesses that I had growing up, they did not come from me. Like, I feel like a lot of that, me not sleeping, was from that, because people used to come to me at night, like when I was a child. And so my mom would be like, you would get up at 4 a.m, 6 in the morning. You wouldn't bother anybody, but you just would not sleep. Like, I just was never a sleeper. And then because my dreams were I would have so many lucid dreams. Like, I just went through different sleep patterns because of my sleep. Because of my spiritual journey. Like, and it scared me because I didn't know what the heck was going on.
Of course,
and my mother never knew what to do with me.
Right.
And I know my son has these gifts, so that was another turning point for me, because I was like, I want to be there. I want to make sure he can use his gifts properly and not feel alone in the world or feel like something is wrong with him. You know what I'm saying? Because since even like when he was 4, he would say things and not know why he was saying them, but the things he was saying are true. So they used to call him Elijah the prophet. And that's like me when sometimes angels will just like start channeling through me, and I'm saying things to people, and now I'll know the difference. I'm like, this is not coming from me. This is coming from God and the angels, or this is coming from spirit. And I'll let them know. And sometimes I can't even remember what was said. So, because I'm like, I'm just the conduit. I'm just the messenger. But it's amazing when those messages are spot on, or when I do an Akashic Records reading, like it's just an amazing thing.
Right. I've had moments like that. I've definitely had moments like that where I've said something to someone and I'm like, oh my God, that is exactly what I needed to hear. Right. Like, how did you know that that's exactly what I needed to hear? How did you know that this is what I've been asking the question for? And you're like, and it just comes out. And it's just like, yeah, this is what you needed to hear. Like, this is what I'm getting. And, and it could be a person you haven't seen in forever, or a person that you don't even know. And this is just a message that needs to be given to this person that brings them so much clarity. So no,
I
I
did a
totally.
reading the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And this young lady, she's a very beautiful spirit. She's a friend of a friend. I don't know her that well,
Mm-hmm.
but she has this ancestor in her house. His energy was so strong.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a reading over the phone, but I felt him in her house. Like I could describe him. I could see him clear as it was so strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like working with your ancestors is such a powerful thing. Like, and she has 3 of them. Like she is 2 women and a man. But that man, he was like, he stole it. It was like he wasn't saying anything, but he wants her to know that he is there. Right. It was just so strong, but it just made her feel better, and that made me feel better because she's like, I just needed to know if they were here.
Right, right. And okay, so what I wanted you to also get into, like we talked about empath, and I definitely wanted to talk about Reiki, but what can a person who is an empath, who know that they're an empath, what can they do to protect their space, protect their energy? Like, what are some things that you would suggest that they can do to protect their energy? Because I know, like, even I was in Walmart this morning, and I had to go find an aisle that was empty just to regroup myself. Like I was on the phone with my sister.
So one of the things I extremely suggest for anybody, because like we all pick up energy, whether we know it or not.
Right, exactly.
I say do what's called a quote unquote, I call this an empath bath. Okay. And it's showering with Himalayan pink salt and lavender.
I do that. Yes, girl, I do my lavender bath every morning. Sometimes I haven't done my salt, but yes, I do my lavender every day. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
So, but that Himalayan pink salt will it especially if you're a fire sign, definitely do that pink salt in the shower at even once a day. Like, but that pink salt, it makes such a difference. It cleanses your energy and it cleanses anybody's energies that you don't want on you or around you. Gotcha. That's one of the major things. I tell everybody. There's also crystals you can use for protection. Shungite is one of my favorite ones. I actually have one here in my hand right now. And black tourmaline is another good
black
one.
Tourmaline, yes.
And they're very good. Like, so, like before COVID, I used to work a lot of events. And being around a lot of people, like I'll always have my protective crystals on me because, sometimes too, like when you get into certain situations with people, it's because of something they're going through and it has nothing to do with you. You know how a lot of people deflect certain stuff?
Yes.
I'll be like, let me send this energy right back to you. Right, I ain't got time.
Right. I always pick up stressful energy. I always pick up, especially with that ties to finances or worry, abundance energy. I always pick those up. Worrisome energies, like I pick those up a lot. And I'm like, I remember I didn't realize that I was picking up, and I had a friend that I used to be around all the time. And I could not understand why every time I left her or every time she come to my house, I was always worried about my finances. Like, why am I always stressed out?
That means that you personally should do some base chakra work too.
Right. I done though. That was a couple of years ago. I cleared that up, and then I opened up my money blocks because it was like I had money blocks, and then like I was picking all her stuff up. And then when I realized it, and I started having to cleanse my house, and I had to keep my space from her. I was like, what in the heezy? But then I realized it, like, wait a minute, this ain't my issue. Like, this ain't my issue. Like, what is going on? So
and then I am a big sager. I'm a big sage person and big Palo Santo person.
Yes. I was saging my house down. Girl, get out.
That they're both in danger.
Oh,
And
no.
I'm gonna look into this. I've been making sage for people.
Okay.
I've been making a few different kinds.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna look into like some alternatives too, because they say like that they supposedly both are in danger of being extinct.
Oh God, no! Well, send me some when you make some.
I will.
Yeah, send me some.
I also do crystal infused oils.
Okay. Oh,
so
gotcha.
We'll talk about that too, and we'll see what you need, and I'll send you a little something.
Okay.
So like I'm just starting to get into products because you know, with my healing modalities and it's things that I use, I'm like, why not make them for other people? And like the clients have been pleasantly satisfied.
Satisfied.
So I'm gonna make some more.
Exactly.
But I just tell people like, you have to ground yourself and you have to know who you are, especially because I feel like you should learn as much as you can about different healing modalities and different areas of spirituality, cultural, but know who you are so that you can learn these things. Just because you learn about something doesn't mean you have to go join the cult and do things out of your nature or something you're uncomfortable with. And that's another thing. Use your discernment and intuition with everything, with people, with situations. Like if you don't feel 100% about doing something, do not do it.
Right, exactly. Because your intuition, and people say your gut or whatever, is always talking to you. The universe is always telling you. Your inner being is always there with you, telling you. Like there's so many times that my inner being or gut, you want to say, is telling me something and I don't listen, and then I get smacked in the face and I'm like, I should have listened. And then it's like, and there's so many times when I'm like, okay, I know that this is my inner being telling me, and I listen and it goes perfectly and it goes amazing. We have to listen to our intuition. We have to. Your emotions.
One of my spiritual healers, she straight told me, she's like, when you don't listen to your intuition, you're not protected. And she's right, because every time that I've had like a big vision or like something, like I'm like, she's right. Like there were literally times I probably would not be here if I did not listen to my intuition and discernment. And you have to tune in. You gotta listen. And it's like, you know, the universe got your back, but the universe is giving you clues too. And you just gotta dig in and really, really listen and hear it. So what I'm gonna do, like Reiki. Explain to people exactly what Reiki is, because a lot of people now are wanting to get into Reiki healing and different things. And there's so many different people that's out here doing it. But explain to people exactly what that is, clearing out your chakras, things like that. Third eye. A lot of people just do not understand. And this is one thing that I want people to understand. It's like, we're not pushing anything on you. You have to do what makes you feel good and what is at peace with you. No one is, you know, because I know a lot of people come from different religious backgrounds, but when you're talking about spirituality, you're talking about who you are at core. Who you are at core is spirit and is energy. So, you know, just I want people to really tap into that. Tap into knowing who you are. So Reiki, go. And you know, I'm gonna preface by saying Reiki is magic, and that's why it's hard for people to understand the concept until you have experienced it. But
I've experienced my Reiki. I was like, woo, wait a minute. It was very loopy afterwards. I was like, what the hell did I just do?
So Reiki healing is life force energy hands-on. It can be distance or no hands as well. But that it's healing that returns a person to their true self. That's what the definition of Reiki is, right? So basically, Reiki is, like Shatonia said, it's the alignment and clearing of your chakras. You have 7 main energy centers in your body, and they're called chakras. And they go from your base, your root chakra, all the way up. And each one is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, white. that we can, talk about and get deep into for, people who really don't understand. Those are your energy centers, and each one has a different meaning and aspect of your life. Mm-hmm. Sometimes some of us have blocks in these. Sometimes you need alignment. But Reiki has been like one of the, I would say, most influential parts of my healing journey, because when I first had my first Reiki session, I was gifted by Tasty Keys from Bonfire Radio. And my so Reiki is its origins are in Japan. It is non-denominational. People have said that their illnesses have been cured. I definitely sleep better. It's enhanced creativity. It's just so many benefits of it, but it's basically natural healing. When someone becomes a Reiki master teacher, they can perform it at a distance, and it's still just such a powerful thing. Every experience is different. Every in person and different, and distance is different. So like I said, like my first Reiki session, it was just like she could read my mind. Like everything that I was thinking, it was like she could tell. It was just really freaky. And then I wound up getting my first Reiki attunement with her, and that's when you learn how to do Reiki on yourself. And it's just where you learn how to go dig deep within yourself, and you just find who you are at your authentic core. And it's just like you can heal yourself from anything.
Right.
And then there's just different levels. So like when you do Reiki level 2, you can heal others. And it's natural, it's safe. You can do it with crystals. Sometimes I'll do a Reiki session with an angel healing session. There's Kundalini Reiki, there's Rainbow Reiki, there's a lot of different kinds. And it's just a beautiful thing. I always tell people, like, be prepared for a miracle. Because you can experience anything. You can definitely uncover emotional blocks. I've healed women's wombs that were infertile. It's just been a very, very beautiful journey. Like just seeing how people have healed emotionally, like I said, mind, body, and spirit. There's just a lot of different things that have been cured through Reiki, but it's something that's been around for a very, very long time.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. Because even though like I went through the experience when I went to, because part of my journey I went to Thailand, and I went to I went there for a month because it was just like I had to get away. Like I needed a healing, I needed some answers, I needed to connect. I was like, I cannot relax here. So I needed to go somewhere. So when I went out to Thailand to just like as a retreat to my wellness, to just meditate and just like get at peace, that's where I had my first Reiki session and my hypno my what was it? Hypno meditation and my breathworks meditation. I did so many different things out there, and it was so amazing. I came back, I felt so good, I felt so light, but like I definitely saw the difference right after my Reiki, because if anybody's ever had Reiki or ever had a healing session or just really got into like doing a cleansing, you will understand about frequency. And when you have a frequency change, it is very loopy. It's very interesting, and it can be scary, but it's for the best, because that is when you're in the best place to manifest whatever it is you want. You put out that intention of what you're because I really feel like if you want to manifest things in your life, you want to manifest happiness, you want to manifest healing, you want to manifest whatever it is, meditation is the gateway. And clearing up all that crap that we got going on is the gateway to get those manifestations going. Don't go in with the idea of just manifesting, but like when you start doing that clearing, the manifestations start to roll in. And that was what happened with me. Like once I started really clearing the things that, I really, really wanted, started to come through, like the financial blocks that I had, because I had these mindsets of, lack and scarcity and things like that. When I started meditating and clearing up those blocks, the financial blocks moved and my money started to flow in. And so it was just like, okay, it was the thoughts that I had connected to the money that was blocking it. And when I made peace
Child.
with and when I made peace, like, okay, the universe got me. Money is not what's gonna make me happy. Happy is what's gonna make me money. So there we go. So that's what it's about. It's just changing up that mindset and clearing things up. So let me see. Is there something else we need to tell these people to help them on their journey to, just being complete? But I definitely want to sit down and I definitely want to talk to you, offline, off this, and like really help me, girl. Because
I definitely, but I
it's
also
a
want to
journey.
explain to people like what a healer is,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So like a healer is someone who brings out wholeness in a person whose authentic self has parts that are like dormant. I believe like everyone has gifts. Sometimes they just need the right person to help bring them out or enhance them.
Right.
When I'm going through something good or bad, I always ask, how can this situation help someone else? And that's usually like how I've attracted my clients, because people are usually going through something I've been through, and I'm usually able to help them through that situation. I feel like, everybody's journey is different. Even if you're going through the same thing at the same time, the journey is still different.
Right.
But I love like helping people use spirituality, become like whole mind, body, and spirit. It's like my way of healing the world, because like that one person goes out, they're a better person. They're raising their kids to be better people.
Yes.
They're starting generational wealth. They're living their dreams.
Right.
So that's how I would explain what a healer is. And we all are healers. We all have gifts, and it's just, especially right now, we have to tap into our gifts and enhance them, because that is the only way we can protect ourselves.
Yes, I'm so glad that you laid it out and explain what a healer is, because a lot of times people get a little confused with the whole thing. What's a healer? Why should I get in connection with the healer, and what a healer actually does? And if you do come from certain backgrounds, certain religious backgrounds, you could be a little leery of things like that. But the way you explained it is perfect. Like, yes, it's, we all have certain things that is basically, I'm not going to say that it's basically like going to a therapist, but going to a spiritual therapist. Like if you go to a therapist for your mind, this is going to a therapist for your soul, your spirit, just that inner therapy that just needs.
And if you have a holistic coach and a therapist, you can't lose.
Exactly. So you're like on it. So like, and if you're here listening, there's a reason. I believe there's a reason for everything. And if the universe has brought you to this podcast and you're listening to this, it's because the universe has a message for you. This is something that you need to hear. This is something that there's no coincidence. There's no coincidence that you are found this podcast and that you're listening to it, because it's something that you need to hear, and there's some healing that needs to be done, and it's a journey, and your path is opening up. So yes. So nothing is coincidence. You are here for a reason, and these words are coming to you for a reason. So just tap in, and keep digging and find just find what it is that that needs clearing up. We know what needs clearing up. Sometimes we don't know what needs clearing up, but you can kind of get an idea of what needs clearing up, what brings you some stress. So,
and just know you are your own light in the darkness.
Exactly. It's really, and this is what I learned for myself, for my journey. It's really all about how you look at stuff, your perspective of everything, and your thoughts connected to stuff. Because especially like my main thing is mental health, and our thoughts will drive us crazy because we're either living in the past or living in the future, and a lot of times we're not living in the present. And the present is where you're going to find your peace, even though the present may seem sketchy at the moment, but you're projecting, you're thinking doom, or you're thinking about the past when it was doom. You can't think like that. You got to change that.
And that's what meditation is about, being in the present. And like that was my main thing, because I was always doing this and then wondering how that was going to get done after I did this. So learning to meditate and be in the present is it shifts your whole perspective. And then how you said, like, worrying about the past. So just one more story about last year around this time, I went into a coma twice.
Oh my God.
And it was scary, of course, but it was weird because I had an outer body experience. Like, I usually, so I always say, when I pray is when I'm talking to God, and when I meditate is when He's talking to me.
Right.
So usually, I'll get answers through dreams, visions, whatever. And I work a lot with archangels. But at this time, when I was in the coma, it was like I knew I wasn't in my body, and I literally felt myself above my body, and I felt 4 angels holding me.
Wow.
And I literally was asking God questions, and I heard Him loud and clear answer me. And it was peaceful. I wasn't scared. I didn't think I was going to die, because like He was talking to me. And of course, like, that made me shift again in my perspective, and how I take care of myself, and my spirituality, and what I want to do in life. So it's like, when you go through these things, it's all about how you come out of it and what you do in those moments.
Right. That is amazing. So guys, I hope you guys really got some really good information here, some tools that can help you on this journey, and some inspiration. I definitely want to have Shani back to talk with us again about some other stuff that we touched on, because if we kept going, we'll be here all night, because there's so much it's so much amazing stuff, and we have lived so much life, and there's so much to tell. But I don't want to keep you guys here all night, but definitely tune in for, I guess, a part 2, part 3, or part 4 of me and Shani going in, and just get your journey started. Get on this journey with me, a pursuit to happiness. Let's just get happy. Let's take care of, figure out those triggers, and live a happy life. You don't have to live in darkness by yourself. You don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be stressed. You don't have to be anxious. Find the meditation that works for you. Find the journey that works for you. But there is a journey and a path for you to bring you to a better life. Just like Shani, she found her journey, and she's helping her deal with pain. Maybe you're dealing with chronic pain. Maybe you're dealing with illnesses like her. Find your journey that will help you, because all the time, is not about medication. My motto is meditation over medication. Sometimes you do need to be on medication, but not all the time. You don't need to be addicted to different things. So let's find it. And, we'll talk later, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And thank you, Shani, for talking to us and, dropping all these jewels on us.
Amen. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.